All glory to God. Last Sunday for Christmas, for those that were here, I had the theme or the intention of how the spiritual birth of Christ is actually the Christ consciousness awakening in us. And we need to open up to that more. So we're going to go into that a little bit deeper here for New Year's. So here we are at the doorway of a new year. New to us it is because we're the ones that create time. On the other hand, God simply is, as the creative mode, pouring forth in richness and completeness. And we really need to open up to all of that God has for us. So with that idea in mind, I want to share a little story written by Minnie Louise Hoskins, and it was used by King George VI in his 1939 Christmas broadcast to the English people. It says, "I said to the man who stood at the gate of the year, 'Give me a light that I might tread safely into the unknown.' And he replied, 'Go out into the darkness and put your hand into the hand of God. That shall be better to you than light and safer than a known way.'" Wow, could we not think about that small admonition that says the year begins to unfold? Perhaps we have made plans for the year, perhaps we're in the midst of completing others, and yet there's always the unknown that lies out there in the path before us. And how are we going to do that, knowing that every moment of our life is choices? We make choices all the time. We can be wise and begin the year, though, by turning regularly to God. What is God's will for us? What is the light of God inside of us saying for us? This world is full of uncertainty, and many things that happen in our lives and in the life around us in this world are beyond our control. But we can be aware of one thing, and that's our unity with God. And even then, sometimes the prayer that we say does not always end up working and suiting us the way that we want. So perhaps it's more effective to go into the unknown. Just take the step, like you're walking off the cliff and trusting God is there to hold you. And we're moving forward and into those unlit corridors of the future with no plans made. Just say, "I'm open up, God, to the best that you have for me." Then we have dreams that are unsheathed and come alive, lightly and flexible. We can make quick turns when we need to. Oh, this feels better this way than this way. When we know that the light of God is always shining within us, we find that we are always in the right place. We are divine beings. The ground we stand on is hallowed ground because God is here. God is in each of you. So where we're at right now is perfect. And when we know that, beloveds, and then we get to experience what I've talked about before, and that is seeing as God sees, knowing as God knows, loving as God loves. Just think about being in that perfect place all the time and experiencing those beliefs. And therefore, when we do that, we're living the Christ consciousness within us. We're letting God express through us. So, my prayer for you on this new year is that you fulfill your highest and noblest aims on your spiritual path. Those who seek love divine, may you find it deep within, because that's where it's at. For those of you who seek understanding about your life or other things, look for it from Spirit, who is the fountain of certainty and understanding. Those of you who seek strength and courage and humility, may you go to the great teacher of God inside who can help you acquire them. For those of you this year that are seeking more perfect health, be in the body of God, which is total health and wellness. Didn't say anything about doing, just be in the body of God. And those who seek a divine, connected, joyous, loving relationship with a partner, may you release all old thoughts from the past. Release all old patterns from generations of family, and allow God within you to create and attract and lead to you a new relationship which leads to the possibility of oneness. Everything that I said there is about oneness. Oneness with Source, oneness with all of us, oneness with our health, relationships, everything. So, the way to peace and joy, happiness and health, prosperity and love divine is to keep your consciousness focused on God within you. And which way am I going? Let me be open. Let me be the servant. Let me hear, God, where you want me to be. In God's love lies wisdom, humility, joy, compassion, understanding, and fulfillment. What powerful words. If we could experience that every year, every day, every moment. And by that, may all of us then seek that love more earnestly and start the new year thinking only of the one. Only of the one that's already here. no place where God is not. We can really increase the quality of our inner life so that our outer experience can be more harmonious. And that's the way it is. The outer is an expression of the inner, so that's what we need to work on. And everything around our life will change. And more of the soul print. Our soul is what's got us here. Our soul is what's learning. Our soul is what came from God. So think about a soul print that we have within each of us. It bears us as a gift that we give to the world. Ourselves. We are the gift. Each soul that's here and in this world, each soul is made in the image of God. Therefore, its qualities of humility, wisdom, love, joy, bliss, health, prosperity, whatever, are already within us. But what happens is the eye of the ego makes us forget sometimes. It comes up and it wants to drag us back into the past. It wants us to be upset and worry about something. But then, when that happens, we get another opportunity to realize that we need to dwell consciously on the divine nature of God that lives within us. All our moods, all our habits, all our worries and thoughts that take our mind away from God in any moment of the day can be overcome by substituting positive thoughts of cheerfulness and willingness and joy, kindness and compassion. There's so much inside that we can spend our time thinking about and being with. And as you awaken these qualities within and really claim them more as you, what it does is it removes other habits, the old ones of greed and selfishness and anger and unwillingness. All of those will just die away because we're not feeding them. We need to feed the positive ones, beloved, the connection to God. There is only one way to remove the darkness. And what is it? Turn on the light, which is you. The light is in each and every one of you. You cannot remove the darkness in a room by complaining that you can't see or beating it with a stick or doing something like that. There's only one way. Again, be the light. Remove the ignorance that comes up from ego sometimes, because ego doesn't know. It doesn't know anything. It thinks it does. God knows. That's why we want to know as God knows. We don't dwell upon that. We don't dwell upon our self-pity. We don't berate anyone else for our inner darkness. It's our job. It's our problem. If we're in the dark, if we're not seeing the light, if we're not feeling it inside, it's our job to change it. It's our job to turn on that light of wisdom within, and all the darkness that we have from past and present will disappear. The idea, dear ones, is to live in the consciousness of God so that you are always centered in Source. Always centered, knowing that God is your source. Everything you desire will come from Source. And then the mind can evolve itself around some aspect of divine. Whatever that is that you need at the time. Health and well-being, peace of mind, joy, happiness. Whatever it is you need, you can bring it forth. You can connect to my God, my mother, my father, my child, my friend, my beloved, my love, and my own. So, starting this year, I want you to hold a spiritual desire in your heart and deeply pray to God to fulfill it. There are lifelong endeavors, but the point is that one must take a start in inquiring. And you've got to start somewhere, first of all, by claiming it. I have it here for me. Let me be the person that can receive it. That's the way to fulfill any good desire of your heart. Life is passing us by, dear ones, all the time, moment by moment, and we're moving more into ascension time, which is basically allowing the Christ consciousness to express itself through us even more in our mind, in our body, in our heart, in all aspects of our life. So, it is time to open up to this truth. There is a deep longing inside each and every one of us to a connection to Source inside. We must open up with it, with the same energy that the drowning man grasps for breath as he goes down for the third time, fighting and saying, no, I want life. That's what we need to do. Do it with the same yearning that the lover feels when he's parted from his beloved or her beloved. With the same possessiveness that the miser feels for his gold. Connect to that. Do you have that passionate of a desire? If not, it's time. Right now. The goal is not to be satisfied until you have ignited within yourselves this spark of divine desire. Just think about that as the light that we use, like the light candles or something, but even much brighter than that, to ignite a desire within, to just connect with God, and that's it. And during this time, we need to forget the outer world that we have ignited within ourselves. We have to let go of it, throw out all cares of our mind. Therefore, give our problems over to God. God knows how to handle them. Let Spirit worry about them, which actually God doesn't, because all He does is put love into it. We have a problem putting love into our own things, so that's what God is here for, to put love into our worries. Talk to Spirit all the time, starting this year, that infinite intelligence that's in your heart. Then you will know how you are progressing spiritually. You will hear from Source. Go this way, go this way. Stop. Whatever it is. And we have the perfect time right now to take this on, because we're experiencing an intense energy of another full supermoon this weekend. So take that energy in, as I've talked about it all last year, the moons that we had and the energy that's coming in for us, because, dear beloveds, it's time to be that who we wish to be, and it's time to feel the power inside. You have it. Let it out. Namaste.